Before I do this, I want to make sure your volume is fully up for this, and I also want to say I'm sorry and you're welcome. Alright, I'm sure that was a lot to digest right there. That is what we are going to be creating as a word today. I don't believe it exists already, and I'm assuming my interpretation of it is not already out there. What that was that you just heard is something I've noticed throughout my entire YouTube career, but I never thought of thinking of a name for it and have never heard people talk about it. What it is really weird little noises that pop out of your mouth right before you start talking. It's like little noises that come out pre-speech. And I never really noticed myself doing them a whole lot. However, when you record and make videos of yourself, you'll hear just weird little ticks or noises that come out of you before you actually start speaking. A lot of it can be like a heavy inhale of breath, or there's like a little click or a pop that comes out before you start saying the word that you intend on saying. And usually I will cut these out of videos if I notice them and they're egregious, and I have been doing that. And once I thought of making this word, I'm like, oh, I can save these up and use it as an example. And that's what you just witnessed. And when you throw them together and hear it very drastically, it's hideous. It is disgusting to hear. It's like a loud chewer or just like a lot of real tons of smacking of the lips. Just gross, you know? And some of the clips that I've created and curated doing this, like, they're so vile, but they can also be just absolutely hilarious to watch back. Like, it's simultaneously like the most disgusting but also hilarious stuff to me that I've created. And really it was basically an accident. I just decided to start throwing together some of these as just like a little collection as an example. And then once I compiled them, I'm like, oh my god, did I accidentally just create the funniest thing that I've ever made? And so what we're going to be calling these noises are Prespee. And it's pretty straightforward. It is pre-speech noises. So we're just taking really the first part of those words. It's Prespee. It flows out the tongue very easily. It's very intuitive what it means. And I mean, P is also in the word because it's natural. It's something that just happens to people. And it just will happen. And I'm also going to not cut out any Prespee that I make in this video. I'm just going to include them. We'll see how many times they occur naturally. I'm not going to speak any differently than I normally do, but it does probably happen fairly noticeably, maybe like 4 or 5 times per video when I've been doing these. Like, I'll be like, ooh, that's some real nasty Prespee. Let's cut out some of that. So that's the word I'm going to be creating. If you ever record anything yourself, you'll probably start to notice this a bit more if you haven't already. And I don't think that there's a name for this already, but I could be wrong. I like mine for it, so that's what we're going to go with. I think this is one of the better words I've created thus far. I've liked a lot of them, but Prespee, it's up there. Like, I feel like this should be adopted. And now that I've seen some of the potential of like capturing this stuff, I might have some interesting ideas that could arise from this. It's almost like anti-ASMR. It's it's just like torturous, painful things to hear, which could be an interesting thing to play with, you know. Just to give you a little bit more info on Prespee as well, like, it isn't the same as if you're saying something that starts with an S, like that noise, that isn't exactly Prespee. That's kind of just the start of the letter, start of the word that you're flowing into, and that isn't abnormal, you know, like, it's pretty normal to have a little bit of a as you're going into the word letter S. And so it's not unrelated to your actual speech. That's just a part of it and is pretty natural. It's more like if you hear an odd click or pop or a very drastic inhale that just is disturbing to hear. I think those are the true examples of Prespee, and it's different than the start of a letter or start of a word being slightly elongated, you know? So I figured I'd throw in that distinguishing remark to help you understand a little bit more what is and what isn't Prespee. But yeah, if you've ever noticed that, then this is what it should be called. If you haven't noticed it, you might start picking it up, especially if you ever record yourself. And if you weren't aware of it, but now are, it is probably good to know about, because if you keep that in stuff that you ever put out, I mean, it's not bad, it's close to normal speech, but like, it can be kind of disturbing at the same time. Speaking of disturbing things, it's time for our comment of the day. And my last comment of the day showed that comments are kind of disappearing right now. Now for the comment of the day from yesterday, it comes from Kwip, who echoed the ultimately relatable sentiment by saying, "Gotta be far from Gwyred to hop onto the channel during Limlo to make one of these videos and see comments not showing up. Probably feels like a childo trade in right up your bum, making you release a scrunt." And flawless execution once again from Kwip. We've got 5 Wiplish words flowing together seamlessly with a just very apt usage, perfectly describing the scenario that I found myself in. Stellar job, gonna have to give that one a 21 out of 21. All that being said, not looking to hear from Kwip anytime soon. Come on, people. Now, onto the song of the day. It is Prisoner by Miley Cyrus and Dua Lipa, and I have to admit it, I really like Miley Cyrus, I do. I gave her like newer stuff a chance somewhat recently, and I think her newest album is actually pretty solid. I like a lot of songs off of it. This one including, I think this one's really popular mainstream-wise too, Prisoner. And it is so damn catchy and just really smooth. Enjoy this song a lot. Hadn't seen the video before I was going to select it for video of the day, but then I like kind of scrolled through it as I was sending it off into the Discord, and the video is pretty spectacular as well, and hot.
Why can't you just let me go? Prisoner, prisoner, locked up, can't get you off my mind, off my mind.
But yeah, Prisoner by Miley Cyrus, song of the day, very great. Let's move on to the video of the day. The video of the day is The Count Censored, and this is an old YouTube video, but it is just fabulous and so funny. The bleep button is just used magically to turn this into one of my favorite videos on the internet.
I the candles on the shelf. When I'm alone, I myself, oh yeah.
Certainly recommend checking that out, and look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow. So that's gonna do it for the Daily Do. Peace out.